I'm the Easter rabbit, and I'm supposed to be happy and gay when I deliver the eggs. But my feet are killing me. Well, I'm not doing anything. I'll deliver the Technicolor hen fruit for you. I don't think you can do it. Don't worry, Doc. I'll be okay. Well, remember, keep smiling. Every year I get some dumb bunny to do my work for me.
Hello, divers. Welcome to the Deep Dive Podcast, where each episode we strive to find something, anything to watch on streaming media. I'm Tom Feeney, writer for Wang Shop Movie Magazine, and with me, as always, is my co-host, the magnificent Manda. Hello, Manda.
Hello. How are you?
You know what? I'm feeling very springy.
Oh, nice. I don't want to put all my eggs in one basket, but I'm doing pretty good too.
Oh, but bump.
Yay.
Yes, this is just the beginning, folks. If you're a fan of egg puns, oh my, you are in for a real treat. I didn't have a pun for that one, but you know.
Prepare to be overly excited. No, that doesn't work. I was trying to think of like an
Ovumly excited?
Ovumly. Yeah. I'll think of another one.
We'll workshop it later. It'll be fine. So how are you doing, Manda?
You know, not doing too bad. I'm very lucky that I've got my appointment for my first vaccine.
Oh, good.
Yeah. I don't know actually which one I'm getting. They don't tell you. I hope that it's just, the one and done because I don't really like injections.
Yeah.
But we'll see. It's not for a while, unfortunately, when they, the good old state of New Hampshire said, hey, beginning on the 31st of March, you can go ahead and register. So we did, but we can't get seen until like June. So it's still like 2 months of hanging out in the house.
Yeah. Although I hear that if when you go to get your shot, when you get your injection, if you fake like a really bad reaction, they'll like give you a lollipop or something.
Ooh, once I gave blood in high school, and it really didn't go well. But in the end, I got a Welch's juice box, so it was kind of worth it.
Did you throw up?
Yeah.
Oh man, that's
I
tough.
think it was because I saw the blood donation bags, and it just made me super queasy.
Oh.
But like I said, the nurses came in and they gave you candy and really sugary foods.
Which is never a bad thing, really.
No, not
Unless
really.
you're diabetic, and then that's a whole other business. You shouldn't be giving blood anyway if you're
Yeah,
diabetic. Just a
exactly.
handy tip for people there, okay? My goodness.
But yeah. So everything's pretty good on my end. How about you?
Hanging in there. I myself, of course, had the one and done. So I'm fully now antibody, complete. So I feel like my immune system could tackle just about anything, but I'm not going to test that theory because, frankly, I'm scared.
Yeah, I think maybe we'll hold out until like we know for sure.
Yeah, it's one of those things where, okay, I get it. It's, once you're completely immunized, you're not going to get sick enough to go to the hospital or, be seriously ill. But, I find that I kind of enjoy, not seeing other people. So I don't know. I might stick with it for a while, just to see how it goes.
Just don't tell anybody you got vaccinated. And they say, oh, hey, Tom, why don't you come out for dinner? Oh, I really would, but I want to protect you guys. Or if your mother-in-law calls, just say you can't attend her, weekly dinner because you haven't been vaccinated.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. And on that note, when we record this, it's April Fool's Day. And which is, of course, par for the course for us anyway.
Yeah,
I thought my plan was to do this whole thing where tomorrow, I was going to do a whole April Fool's weekend thing. And tomorrow I was going to fake my death. And then in a couple of days, I was just going to appear and say, hey, I was dead, but now I'm okay. And then I would just ascend.
What a resurrection that would be.
I know, right? But you know what?
Yeah.
You know what? I found out it had been done.
Oh, man. See, all these things, they always happen before we get a chance to do them.
Yeah, thanks a lot, David Blaine. Anyway, no.
Oh, man. We're going to hell.
Let's,
and whatever.
I exaggerate, of course, but get it?
Yeah.
Yep. All right, moving on. Very good. On to the topic. And I'm sure people who are listening probably knows what we're talking about here. So spring has sprung, and with it brings thoughts of new beginnings.
Lawnmowers.
Yeah, blooming flowers, warmer weather, bird song filling the air very nicely. And of course, ancient.
Chocolate.
Yeah, well, I was thinking more ancient fertility rituals, but that's just me.
Oh, yeah, fair enough.
There's that. So now you can pass over Passover. You can kick Easter in the keister, but you cannot ignore the greatest symbol of the spring equinox. And I am, of course, talking about
Good Friday?
No. Ostara. Do you know who that is? Do you know Ostara?
No.
So Ostara is the Germanic goddess of Easter.
Oh,
pretty cool,
yeah,
huh?
Of course.
Yes,
of course.
yes. So now here's the thing, and this is something that I've always wondered about, is that we have as part of our Easter, we of course have the religious aspect, but then there's the whole Easter bunny and the eggs. And I'm thinking, where's the connection here between an Easter bunny and eggs? So I found out that according to German folklore, Ostara, the goddess of Easter, transformed herself. She transformed a bird. She took a bird and transformed it into a hare, or, like a rabbit. And in gratitude, once a year, the hare would give tribute to Ostara by laying Easter eggs as it would when it was a bird. And that's actually real. I totally did not make that up. So basically, a goddess transformed a bird into a hare that would lay eggs in tribute to the goddess. I know, right? Blew your mind there, didn't I?
I'm just trying to wrap my head around this. When you say hare, you mean like a rabbit, right?
Yes. There is a difference between a rabbit and a hare. Picking nits here, but technically it's a hare, but not a rabbit. But the same sort of thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's where we get the Easter bunny from, and that's how it ties into Easter eggs, which
Interesting.
I know. I was like, I always wondered about that. Why a rabbit and eggs? It doesn't make much sense, but there we go. How about that? And that is our theme.
But don't rabbits have live young?
Yes, they do. But when the rabbit was a bird, it laid eggs. Then it was transformed into a rabbit, and then it would magically lay eggs as a tribute to what it was.
That's so bizarre.
It is, isn't it?
It's German. So.
Yeah, that tells you something, doesn't it?
They do make good cars.
Yes, they do make good cars. Including the new, what's it called now? Volkswagen. Have you seen that? They're changing their names. That's weird. I don't understand that.
This pandemic has brought so many emotions up for so many people.
Yeah, I think it's time we just put a stop to that. No more emotions, people. Stop it right now.
Exactly.
So, eggs. That's our theme. Eggs. Not technically Easter, but eggs. So, there you go. Now, if it is all right, I'm going to go first with my pick.
That would be exceptionary.
That's not even a word.
What am I trying to say? Exemplary.
There you go. Exemplary.
I just made a whole new word, people.
You did. You made an entirely new word. That's awesome.
I'm going to go work for Webster's.
Yes, that you should totally. That would be excellent if you did that. Oh,
yeah. It's going to be a while.
You might as well turn this off now. So this is not going to get better. My first pick. So every once in a while you come across a work of art that really has kind of a personal impact on you, but you don't really understand why it does. And so my first pick I saw about 30 years ago, and the imagery of it has stuck with me ever since. So it's a Japanese animated film from 1985. It's called Angel's Egg. Now, back then, I was somewhat familiar with Japanese animation, mostly from imported cartoons like Speed Racer and Star Blazers and stuff like that. But Angel's Egg was my first introduction to its more artistic and avant-garde corners. Now, the film itself is only 70 minutes long, and it has very little dialogue. It really is more of a moving painting. And the story is very simplistic. There's this young girl, doesn't have a name, but she's trying to survive in some kind of post-apocalyptic city, and she's carrying with her a large egg, and she's determined to protect it until it hatches. And along the way, she meets a young man wearing some kind of military uniform. We really don't know what that's about, but he wants to know what's inside the egg, of course, but the girl isn't saying anything about it. And the two of them start sort of traveling together through this abandoned city. And you find out that neither of them really has any memory of who they are or where they are, or even if the world that they're in is real. Now, the girl believes the proof that the world is real lies within the egg that she is protecting. And the egg may be carrying an actual angel in it. So yeah, it's
wow.
Yeah, it's a very kind of surreal thing. There's no real answers here. It's not supposed to really offer too many answers. The whole movie is meant to evoke a certain feeling, not necessarily deliver a plot or have a purpose. But the only way that I can actually describe it is it's like when you have a dream about a place you've never been, but it feels familiar at the same time. And, we've all had those dreams where we're somewhere we haven't been before, but, it's like, I know what this is. This feels familiar. And it's like a place maybe I should know, but I don't. And it kind of feels like that. The imagery has that kind of impact. I know that there's on the interwebs, there are people that post that these sort of like pictures that are supposed to evoke a memory or a feeling, but you've never really been there. And this is kind of like that. It's hard to describe, but it just gives you that kind of dreamlike quality. It's a quietly beautiful film, and it really deserves to be seen and appreciated. It's really a stark contrast to the high intensity, over the top imagery that you usually associate with Japanese animation. It's just a beautiful, beautiful film, and I highly recommend Angel's Egg to anybody that's interested in that kind of thing. So, yeah, that's my first pick.
Wow, that's quite beautiful of a plot.
Yeah, it really is, and it's very moving in its own way. You really do feel for these characters, even though they don't really say a whole lot. But and you're curious about what's going on, and you don't know any more than they do about where they are or what's happening. And it has a very interesting ending. I'm not going to spoil it, but it does have a very interesting ending that makes you think a little bit like, okay, what is really going on here?
Right.
But it's I really, really do like it. I'm going to give you the scores because there actually are scores, amazingly. And so it gets 7.7 out of 10 on the Internet Movie Database, and a really good 86% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Wow.
Me personally, I give it 4 out of 5 omelets. And that's what I'm saying. Now, you can find this entire thing for free on YouTube. So the quality is not the best. So I think this might be one of those kind of lost films in a way, and that's a shame. But if you're interested, you can find it on YouTube, and I do recommend it. It's subtitled, even though there's very little dialogue, but what is there is subtitled. But if you can't read subtitles, I mean, I don't know what to say to you. Which is, I'm okay with subtitles. I don't have a problem with it. But yeah, so Angel's Egg, highly recommended. And, just one of those things where you just put it on, turn the lights off, and just let it wash over you.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm Ecstatic.
Oh, you've been holding on to that one.
Oh, yeah. Good first pick. I really enjoy that because I like Japanese animation, but I also like when things have such a deeper meaning, and also you could delve really far into the idea of like the child's wonderment, right? That an angel resides in an egg.
Mm-hmm.
That's so cool. I can't wait to check that out.
Yeah, I would recommend it definitely.
Perfect. So my first and only, I've got one good one, and then I'll have a couple of honorable mentions. But my first one is one of those movies you can call kind of a knockoff, right? You know, a huge blockbuster movie comes out, and directors then see an opportunity to kind of ride the coattails of said movie.
Oh, yeah.
In order to, kind of propel themselves. And basically, with this hype of the new blockbuster movie, they might be able to kind of at least gain the money back that they paid for making the film, right? Mm-hmm. Well, this is the case for this movie, too. It is 1980s Contamination.
You've got to be kidding me.
No! Don't even say it!
You've got to be kidding me.
All right, I think maybe we have to quit the podcast.
No, go ahead. Just go ahead. Go ahead. Please continue.
Right. Well, this little wonderment, as it were, came out in 1980 off the coattails of the Alien movie, right? Like, so, Ridley Scott and all that fun stuff.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, no, not a call. So it basically encompasses like the main like space bringing back some thing aboard trope. They go to space and some alien life form climbs aboard their ship or whatever. In this case, these two astronauts go out to Mars, I think it is, and one doesn't come back. One just goes insane, I guess, and becomes an alcoholic, and he's just something weird happened. It was like Independence Day up there. But they come back, and inside the ship, which happens to land in New York, despite this being made in Germany, like these green eggs, like, and they're big too. They're not like tiny little eggs. And they kind of discover too that once you poke and prod them, they like explode.
Yeah.
And of course, like everything you'd think, all the natural, like, I guess, albumin inside is like toxic to like humans.
That's
and
my favorite albumin.
Basically explode. Oh yeah, exactly.
I have all their albumins.
See what we did there?
Yeah.
But they explode. And they kill things, around them. So that's kind of a thing. And through, the movie is it's like 80 minutes long. It's not very long, but basically you find out that these eggs can control people with mind control. And the original, I mean, I guess I'm not spoiling it. It's been out for 30, 40 years, but the original astronaut that they thought was missing is working down in some Colombian coffee plantation, like with, like not a drug lord, but like actually in the coffee plantation. And he's being, mind controlled by this alien cyclopsy thing. And then, the guy who was an alcoholic and he just couldn't take what he's seen, his brain had been fried like an egg. He comes back and he's like this super guy. He's the hero of the film, It's always these tropes where the guy doesn't want to get involved, but then you beg him and his conscience brings him in and then he's a hero. And yeah, it's weird. Also, I think towards the end too, there's this point where like the egg, or there's eggs left over, I think. One of those like suspense things, like, oh, will there be a second movie?
Yeah.
And it ends up exploding in New York. Again, this is filmed in like Germany, but yeah, it doesn't really have too many people that I'm familiar with. But yeah, I guess I'll let you go ahead and do the scores and the location to watch it.
Sure, why not?
Because I'm going to assume that this is your second pick.
Yes, it was. Now, couple things to note. This movie has had several names. It has been called Alien Contamination. That's a bit on the nose. Toxic Spawn and Larva. That was another fantastic title. Now, the director is not who is presented on the posters or anything like that. It was an Italian gentleman named Luigi Cozzi.
Yeah, he's still alive too.
He's still alive, yeah. And he has basically said in interviews that this was a complete Alien ripoff. to make money. And
Yeah.
in some countries, it was actually advertised as a direct sequel to Alien. So apparently, countries with no copyright laws. So that's interesting. Now it did the movie did make money, which is thankfully that's a good thing for the director, because according to him, the movie was partially funded by a drug cartel.
Aren't all good movies, though?
Yeah, pretty much. I'm sure Gone with the Wind was a cartel movie. Mary Poppins, cartel movie. Star Wars, cartel movie.
Cartel.
It's a whole thing. I mean, most of the Pixar films, are you kidding me?
Dora the Explorer.
Yeah. All ketamine funded, too. I mean, it's just ridiculous. A lot of Special K going on down there, you know what I mean?
Thanks, Kellogg's.
Yeah, right.
No, I'm just kidding.
So it doesn't get very good reviews, to say the least.
No.
So, I mean, 5.3 out of 10, Internet Movie Database, 40% on Rotten Tomatoes. But
ouch.
Me, I give it 5 out of 5 Alien omelets. That's what I enjoy. Now,
hey, that's saying something.
Yeah, I mean, it's cheese, but it's good cheese. It's stinky cheese, which is sometimes the best cheese, if you know what I mean. You don't like stinky cheese?
It really depends. I mean, if I'm going to have a stinky cheese, like, I don't want to have it in a grilled cheese because then it's too stinky.
Oh, no, that's waste.
But, yeah, I might have a Gruyere or something.
Yes.
In like a fondue. I don't know.
Ooh, a fondue. I love a good fondue.
Fondue who?
That joke was total poutine. Yeah.
Man, we should do a food episode.
This is actually this now announcing our next podcast, the Deep Dish podcast, where we go and eat food and talk about it. Which for me, I would enjoy that immensely.
Nice.
I don't know about you, but I would totally do that.
Yeah.
Now, there have been actually many different versions of contamination floating around over the years. And as a matter of fact, it has the dubious honor of being one of the notorious video nasties. The video nasties was a list of banned videos in the UK that you could not rent or buy for years. And so that was one of the lists. You can look that up online. You want to check that out because it's very interesting. If you're looking for a good list of movies to watch, go check out Video Nasties and see what was banned in the UK. That's a fun ride right there. If you want to, that's a good weekend at least. And so, but the uncut version of the film, you can watch it for free if you have Amazon Prime Video or on our old friend Tubi.
Oh, Tubi. I love Tubi.
Or not to be. Never get tired of that one.
Nope.
Yeah. So, which reminds me, I think our next episode is going to be done entirely in iambic pentameter, which will be a lot of fun.
I guess we're going to Shakespeare that up.
That's right. Hey. This is why you come here, isn't it? People listen for these jokes.
I mean, yeah.
I mean,
I got a little less to offer.
Yeah, sure we have information that's fun, but hey, it's all about the jokes. Oh, by the way, you can also rent Contamination on iTunes for 99 cents, which is a bargain at any price. So there you go. Now, you said that you had some honorable mentions. I'm very excited to hear them.
Oh, well, let me just stop this. Oh, never mind. I was going to heighten the antithesis. Yeah, never mind. Okay,
stop yoking around.
So the guy who plays Hubbard, by the way, I think his name is Ian McCulloch. He happened to be in two zombie movies right before Contamination, and I was looking at his IMDb page. He has like 6 or 7 zombie titles under his name. I wonder why I've never even heard of him.
I think most of those zombie movies were probably made in Italy and mostly by the same group of directors.
Fair enough.
Because the Italians do love their zombie movies. God help me, I don't know why, but they do. And just one more thing before we get to your honorable mentions. One of the best things about Contamination is the soundtrack. It is one of the most 80s synthesizer soundtracks I have ever heard, and it is by a fantastic Italian synthesizer group called Goblin. And if you get the chance, listen to it. It's so fun.
How is it that all these really crap movies have really good soundtracks?
I'm not sure because it's like it seems like that's the one thing they spent money on was music.
Probably.
I have no
Oh
idea.
man. Honorable mention. So I've actually just got the one, and I think this is probably the best one. But I am a fan of dinosaurs, and I
No.
love. Yeah, I know.
What?
There's a real shocker for you there.
Oh my
You weren't
goodness.
expecting that.
Shockosaurus.
Shockosaurus. But no, one of the great names in sort of paleontology world is Mr. Peter Larson, right? He is the discoverer of Sue the T-Rex. Sue being, up until recently, the most complete and largest female T-Rex ever discovered. But recently, he was part of a documentary back in 2014 called Dinosaur 13. This Dinosaur 13 refers to the 13th dinosaur being found, which is Sue. There's a huge debate over who owned her. I mean, like, seriously, the rights to dinosaur fossils is split up between who owns mineral rights. Is a bone a mineral? Is it not? Is it natural? Who owns the land rights? It's a whole big kerfuffle. And essentially what ended up happening is that he lost the battle and he no longer had rights to Sue, and he wanted to put her up in his museum. But, I guess maybe lucky for the rest of the world, she ended up, in Chicago and places, and we can still see her. But essentially this one part, right, where he gave this really cool TED Talk, and he actually describes the sort of burgeoning thesis of how dinosaurs in particular are related to chickens, or I should say chickens are related to dinosaurs. And he starts going through the process of like looking at chickens in embryo and going all the way through it. And it turns out that in recent years, scientists have actually produced an egg with a chicken that has a more dinosaur snout versus like chicken beak.
Yum.
And so, of course, everyone's thinking like, cool, Jurassic Park is real. But basically, I just love that film. It's a good documentary, but I thought the whole, talking about eggs was appropriate. Because, of course, we all come from eggs. But it's pretty cool to think that, like, you could be having dinosaur on your plate tonight. You just don't even know.
Oh, that just went right over my head.
Oh!
Oh, man. It's just terrible. This is terrible.
Yeah. But you can actually find that right now. Level, it's actually got a pretty good score too on IMDb. It's a 7.2. You can find it currently right now free on IMDb if you subscribe to their TV services. But it's also on Amazon Prime and on the Geography Channel.
Nice. I like that.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. So yeah, now we've got. This is the second time in a row where we have where Manda has poached my pick. And
not fair.
Not that I'm bitter about it or anything, but yeah, maybe I am.
You need to crack up that story a little bit. Ooh. Tell the truth here.
Ooh, ouch. I'm just a shell of my former self now.
Oh, wow. You're such a sellout.
Oh, ouch, 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 ouch.
Can't you take a yoke?
No, it's too painful. Oh my goodness.
I guess it's hard to beat.
Oh man. Yeah. You've omelet me down.
Oh man, I'm just an explorer of all these jokes.
Man, it's just so scrambled. I don't know what more to say about that, but frankly, if you haven't turned this off by now, I don't know what's going to make you go away.
Thank you.
I think this might actually be because of this one of the shortest shortest ones on record.
Well, for those who haven't been tuning in for a long time, we typically don't tell each other what our picks are.
No.
And only two other times, and they've been long and far in between, but two other times we've picked the same other movie. Out of all the movies that could be picked, out of all the whole spectrum of really bad things to watch, it's a pretty funny thing that you pick my pick.
Although I do have to say is that I think one of the things is because our topic was so kind of narrow, because it's egg related, and it's like, it's not exactly a well-known subgenre of movies about eggs. There's only so far you can go with that. So yeah, I can, I can understand it. I mean, if we went with some like really, kind of uh, vague description or something like that, then yeah, definitely, definitely, I think
I
it
mean,
would
we're
be.
not known for vague descriptions, so.
True. We are not known for vague descriptions, but that's okay because it's still fun. And honestly, we had, I think, really two really good picks today because I highly recommend both movies to to
Mhm.
anyone that might be interested. So yeah, so I think that's kind of cool. So so we have a little bit of a shorter podcast this time. It's a vacation weekend, so hey, that's all right. And you know what? It's okay. Because this past couple of weeks, I have just been exhausted. See, I just got that right in there. See that? Isn't that
Yep.
fun? Isn't that fun?
Oh, you're cracking me up.
Oh, there we go. And on that note, oh my goodness. All right, let me ask you this. What is your favorite egg-related Dr. Seuss book?
Oh, jeez. I only know one, and that's the green eggs and ham.
Yeah, that was a leading question. There
Yeah.
there is only the one, but that actually, in a very ham-fisted way, ties in to next week's microcast. Yes.
Ooh.
So, the publisher of these books, legendary children's author Dr. Seuss, there's been some controversy lately. And the publisher recently announced that 6 of his works will no longer be published because of, outdated and potentially offensive portrayals, right? And, some people are crying censorship and all that. But you know what? It's Dr. Seuss's estate that's making this decision.
Right.
And so it's not censorship. It's not banning books. They've just decided to kind of like say, okay, these books, we're going to set them aside. They're still out there. You can still read them. That's fine. But they are not going to continue to publish them out of respect for the people who might be offended, which I totally, I have no problem with. And even though, go ahead.
Oh, no, I didn't say anything.
Oh, I'm sorry. So, Dr. Seuss, despite all of this, remains a beloved figure in the world of children's literature. But did you know he once wrote a screenplay for a wildly fantastical live-action movie musical?
What?
Yeah, and this was not based on any of his books. So on the next microcast, we're going to tell you the story of a movie called The 5,000 Fingers of Dr. T.
Ooh.
Yeah, no, it's not a weird one. Like, it's weird, but it's not like, dirty weird. So Dr. Seuss wasn't into that kind of thing as far as I know. But
anyway. Wasn't one of his pen names like named after a Greek god or something?
Maybe. That's interesting. I didn't know that. But we're going to get into that. We'll get into that.
But he was also from Massachusetts, by the way.
That is correct.
He's a local legend.
Yeah, he's a local legend. So yeah, it's a very interesting story about this movie because it's something that a lot of people aren't aware of, but it's so crazy. The visuals are inspired by his works, and it's a nuts musical movie. And so we're going to find out. Yeah, it's very trippy, and it was in the 50s. So it's very, very much ahead of its time. So we'll dive into that on the Deep Dive Microcast next week. And I think that'll pretty much do it for us, It's a short episode, but I think it's exactly the length it needed to be.
Oh, yeah. Don't forget to check us out on our website, thedeepdivepodcast.com, where you'll find links to our social medias, to our email. Of course, if you ever want to send in a suggestion for the show, we'd love that. We love hearing from you. You can also listen to all of our other excellent episodes that are currently hosted on our website. Again, thedeepdivepodcast.com. Also have a merch store. And you never know what pops up there. We like to be a little, we like to crack things up a bit.
No, I don't know about that.
That was too over easy.
Okay. That one. That one just, oh man. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to recover from that. Yeah. So, I have nothing more to say. So
nothing except if you celebrate Easter, happy Easter.
Yes.
Stay safe.
Passover as well.
Get your vaccine when you can. Yeah, that Passover. all that stuff.
Yeah, and join us again, okay? Because we love our listeners. Maybe too much.
Yeah,
No,
we
no,
do.
no, not too much.
No,
Just enough, I think.
we're not always this crazy. Well, I mean, you know.
I don't know about that. So, all right.
Anyways,
Yeah.
check us out.
Absolutely.
Our website, our deepdivepodcast.com. Also, take a listen, I should say, to our microcasts because they're really fun. They're like really short versions of this, and it's just Tom usually.
It's a snack.
So you don't have to listen to. It's a snack. It's a little boiled egg, as it were.
It's a yeah. It's like a little quiche, like one of those little pocket quiches. Very nice. You know, got some veggie in it. You know, maybe a little sausage. It's nice. I like it. It's good.
Nice.
It's tasty. All right. So, for the magnificent Manda and myself, Tom Feeney, stay safe. Wear a mask. Get vaccinated when you can, and keep your tongue in your mouth. No one wants to see that.
Yeah.
All right. Bye. Everybody.
You can find links to our Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram feeds on our website, thedeepdivepodcast.com. If you like us, please subscribe. All clips are intended for educational use only and not to infringe on existing copyrights. Our theme music was produced by Ryan Blaney and EchoCraft. Thanks for listening. The Deep Dive Podcast is a production of Automaton Media.